love the channel and find it useful in becoming a happy retiree. Subscribe today. Not everybody's happy over the tax cut, but I'm going to tell you about 95% of Americans are getting one. And it's going to help ease the burden of the very problem that you're saying to yourself right now. Christmas is expensive. I got to get travel. And this is what I do with our family. And this is the first year I'm not traveling in a lot of years. And I have 4 little kids under the age of 10 and under. And my wife's family lives in Michigan, and that's where she loves to go every year. There's snow, it's beautiful. Everybody loves Michigan. Well, think about how expensive it is to go to Michigan. So it's 6 plane tickets to get up there because you don't want to drive up there. I've tried that once, got stuck in Ohio in a snowstorm. It took me 22 hours to get from Atlanta to Ann Arbor. Well, I'm not going to do that drive again, but I will fly. And think about how expensive those tickets are times 6, right? And then you got to buy then you got to buy everybody Christmas presents and the family, and it's an expensive time of year. Fortunately, this year, only days ago, we have a new tax bill, arguably the largest tax bill in the history of our country. And for most Americans, the vast, vast majority of Americans, this is going to be a really big deal. So it's Christmas in America. 95% of you are getting a tax cut. It's kind of the gift that keeps on giving. Bigger than the 1963 Kennedy tax cuts, bigger than the 03 Bush tax cuts, and second only to the 1981 tax cuts, at least over the first 2 years, but arguably will be bigger when it's all said and done. For the economy itself, back when we did tax cuts in 03, and this is why it makes me laugh when I read these polls, these surveys, 41 out of 42 economists say that the tax bill is not going to really stimulate the economy, particularly over the long term. Well, I take issue with that. In 03, we were running at under 2% GDP growth. After the Bush tax cuts, we were now over 4% and more than double GDP growth. And then it stayed over 3% in 05 and 06. So it worked. And this tax cut is much larger than that, and it's multifaceted. It's not just individuals. It's not just companies. It's small business owners as well. So think of the animal spirits or the entrepreneurial spirits that get stimulated by a cut in all the main areas that matter. Small business, big corporations, and you. So there's a little bit of something for everybody in this new tax bill. I wrote today, and I know this is brand new stuff, fresh off the press, but I wrote about the 10 pieces of this that'll impact individuals the most. I also give a whole bunch of examples in the article that I wrote. So whether you make a $50,000 example, $100,000 example, or $150,000 example, to try to give you an idea of what your scenario might look like. I also have a link in that article on my website that shows you, or takes you to a tax plan estimator that has all the new brackets in it and most of the new rules in it, so that you can get an idea if your taxes are going up, down, or staying flat. And that's exactly what we've been doing right here on this special edition of Money Matters over the last couple of hours. Well, good news, most of you are getting a tax cut in 2018. It's not going to help you today, but it's going to help you longer term. And by the way, it's going to be a big deal for the economy to the upside. My job is just to inform the public about what's going on with general major themes in the economy: taxes, tax reform, stock market. And I would say that this is the most misinformed topic of 2017. And that's the fact that we're all getting everybody's getting a tax. This tax bill is awful. There's a recent poll just a couple of days ago that 47% of Americans still think their taxes are going up. Wrong. There's another general consensus that this is just a tax cut for the wealthy. Wrong. I've run these numbers over and over again, and this is a decidedly middle-class tax cut. It's basically a tax cut for almost everybody, unless you live in a major high-tax income state like California, New York, New Jersey, and you pay a massive amount in property taxes, and you're going to lose that deduction as well. Or you're single with no kids and you're a super high earner. it is interesting here that the one category we do see people get a tax increase if you're single, making $400,000 or $500,000 and you have no kids. I do wonder about this tax bill. You are rewarded to be married and have kids. You're rewarded to be married and have kids. But for the most part, you're getting a tax cut. I summarized what I think are the 10 most important pieces of this tax bill from an individual perspective. Sure, corporations are getting a massive tax cut. Small business owners are getting somewhat of a tax cut. And individuals are getting a tax cut in a lot of different ways. So I summarized the most important points on that. And I just published an article today, right as we started the show, at wesmoss.com. So look at that. It's right on the homepage, WESMOSS.com. It's there. Read it. Have fun. And you're going to and run the numbers. I have a link to a tax calculator in that article. And I really hope that it works out that you do get a tax cut. With that, enjoy this wonderful holiday season. Hi, I'm Wes Moss, and thanks for taking a minute to hear about what's so different about my new book, You Can Retire Sooner Than You Think. So unlike other retirement books, this book will give you a step-by-step guide, whether you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s, to learn from what these successful and happy retirees did to get there. I hope you enjoy the book, but more importantly, I know that it'll help you retire sooner than you think.